Hey Leadership Nation, Christopher Hart here with Transforming Lives Coaching and Consulting. Welcome to our Facebook Live video where we look to deliver great content pertinent to leaders that are on a leadership journey. And our video series is called Lead Strong Leadership Development, whereby we look to impart in leaders content that can strengthen their ability to lead more effectively, create a higher level of influence and thus impact in their world, in themselves, and those that they engage on a daily and regular basis. So thank you for joining me, whether you're watching this on Facebook Live or you're watching this on replay on our YouTube channel. We welcome your comments, we welcome your engagement, and we ask that if you have questions or ahas, feel free to put them in the comments section so that we can continue to pour value into you and you bring value to the rest of our community. So thank you for joining me on this video, where this is kind of a second part video to yesterday's video. So if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, we're going to go ahead and link yesterday's video to within this one, whether here in the video section or in the comment section. But we're continuing down this journey of leadership by succession. And yesterday I talked about the value of the leadership by succession, whereby we look to create a reproduction plan, a leadership pipeline, where we're actually reproducing ourselves and our leadership from the top down, as opposed to operating in replacement. And as I promised you yesterday, I was going to deliver a video for you guys to show you the difference between a reproduction plan versus a replacement plan for your leadership by succession. So one thing I want to cover, once again, that I didn't really go too in depth in yesterday's video, is this succession, this word succession. You know, if you look at it, once again, the word succession is a compound word where it has one word and a suffix, okay? So if you look at it here, we have the word success. And, you know, if you need me to define that, go back and watch some of my other videos. But I think we all know really what the word success looks like. And then we have the word ion. It's a suffix, excuse me. I'm head's all over the place with prefixes and suffixes. I didn't do well in English in school. So it's a suffix, ion. And the very definition and meaning of the suffix ion is it denotes action. So what we have here is a leadership by succession is saying that we are taking action for future success by our leadership, okay? Which is why we look to have a reproduction plan versus a replacement plan. And here's what I know coaching a lot of leaders and consulting them. Most of them are operating in replacement. Some of you guys out there have a great model for hiring and training and leading. And so our model by which we operate our organizations is nothing more than replacement, whereby, hey, if I want to go replace myself, I go out and find somebody, right? And I go out into the marketplace and into the industry or other industries, and I try and find someone like or similar to me. And most people are just going out finding anybody that can, you know, validate what they've created as far as a match for what they're looking for. And we're going to talk about why that's not the best plan. It's a good plan, but it's not the best plan. And where that also shows up is, you know, on your journey of growing your organization, you know, you may have hired that leader, and, you know, we talked about the different succession plans yesterday where we had an unexpected, right? Whereby your leader unexpectedly leaves the organization. And so what do? You react and go replace that individual. Once again, having to go out to the marketplace, the industry, or other industries to find something similar or like kind in nature. But what we talked about yesterday is where we can actually build value in our organization and reach the pinnacle, what we believe to be the pinnacle based off of our leadership model, the 6 levels, whereby level 6 is legacy leadership. We can actually build a legacy is through reproduction. How do you take what you did? If you believe you're a good or a great leader and you're doing it at a high level and you have a desire to grow this organization, to expand, you know, in your own marketplace, outside your marketplace, across the country, globally, whatever, you're going to need to look at a reproduction model for growth in in your organization through leaders and leadership. So let's jump into understanding the difference between reproduction and replacement. Now, I know you guys can read. You all, my community is a very intelligent community, but I'm going to walk you through it so I can actually talk you guys through what each one really means. And so the first one, a reproduction plan, allows us to develop systems and processes that we duplicate into others. So what this looks like in a reproduction plan is that just like in our business and our services, some of you real estate agents out there, what are you doing? You're documenting your systems. Why? So you can be more efficient and effective, and we did a video on that. But some of you guys are actually looking at expansion. You know that in order to expand, you need to document your systems and procedures and processes. Well, here's what I'm here to tell you. You also need to document your systems and processes in your leadership. Because you know as well as I do, anybody that's participating in expansion or anybody that's listened to anyone go through the journey of expansion with successes and failures, most of the failures have come from lack of leadership. And we all know leadership is defunct in society, in our world today. So high-level leaders that can do what you do are few and far between. And so you're going to either need a massive value proposition to attract them or a lot of money, one of the two. So it just becomes easier to duplicate it into others. Go out and find and build people that you can duplicate what you do, what's worked for you, into other people and grow them into that future leader for your organization. Why? Because if you don't do that, you're out there finding new others, okay? So it's duplicating into others versus finding new others. Second one is it causes a very proactive posture. When you do this, what you're doing is you're actually casting a vision for the people, for your business, by creating a proactive posture by saying, this is where we're going. We're going somewhere. And this is my vision for my organization. We're going to have all these different opportunities, all these different departments. And guess what? All these different departments need a leader. And we're going to be proactive in duplicating our system and processes into the people that join us on the journey. We're going to grow them, and we're going to allow people to step up into new opportunities. We're going to be very proactive in the growth of our organization as opposed to reactive, right? What happens is we start to experience growth in our organization. We have a great process, we have a great service, we have a great product that creates this massive organization. And what causes what does it cause the organization to do? It starts to cause the organization to create new departments, to hire new people to handle the new services that we have to engage in order to properly service the sales or our clients or whatever. And so we have to start being reactive. When we have a replacement plan, when we only operate in replacement, we have to be reactive. Okay, as opposed to being proactive. And we all know that in business and in life, being proactive versus reactive is a lot more efficient. The second thing it does, speaking of efficiency, is it creates efficiency. We did a video on efficiency and effectiveness. And what it allows us to do is to be efficient in the way that we don't have this leakage of energy per se, that when you look to be efficient, or when you have a reproduction plan, it creates that efficiency and it allows continuity. We'll talk about that one here in a second, as opposed to becoming very costly. Look, you know as well as I do, leaders, that if you've been in the business of trying to attract and hire people to your organization, it's not easy. As a leadership and organizational development coach and consultant, one of the biggest struggles that I have working with business leaders is getting them to grow their organization, because hiring is not easy. And it's simple, but it's just not easy. And their biggest struggle is that they don't put the same effort and budget towards hiring people as they do towards finding new clients, finding new business. You know, if you're in real estate, you'll put a massive amount of money towards finding new buyers and new sellers to represent, and then in the same amount of effort and energy does not go into hiring people. But if you really want to hire leaders, the true tested leaders that are going to help you grow your organization exponentially, it's going to be costly. It's going to be costly in finding the people that you want to talk to and put through your funnel of selection, your selection process. as well as it's going to be very costly to hire that person that comes as a proven talented leader. Okay, so if you're growing them, it's more efficient. Now, it takes a little bit longer, or better, it takes a lot longer, but it allows for more efficiency. And we did a video on the 2 E's that all leaders need to consider in growing their organization is efficiency and effectiveness. Okay, so reproduction plan allows for that efficiency as opposed to a costly replacement plan. Well, next one is it reduces risk. And I also talked about in a previous video on what leaders are responsible for in their organization is risk management. There's always going to be risk. And our job is not to necessarily shy away from risk. We have to embrace risk as leaders. And I think that's what makes a great leader is their ability to embrace it and manage it. And when a replacement plan becomes risky, as opposed to a reproduction plan that reduces risk, leaders, I think it's our responsibility to embrace a reproduction plan that reduces risk. And here's why. When we talked about the 4 different type of plans, we had unexpected, we had temporary, we had senior leadership. You know, when we look at those things, we can't control our circumstances, but we can control how we respond. Having a reproduction plan where if we have an unexpected change out in leadership in our organization, or someone comes to us and says, hey, I'm taking a month off to go on a mission trip, and that person's a key leader in your organization, the next man up through our reproduction causes less risk than it does if, all right, how do we replace this person? Okay. Next one is it provides continuity. It creates that momentum. Hey, if you have an unexpected change out in leadership and you have this next man up, that person knows the vision, that person knows the mission and the culture and the people, and they can just pick up where the other person left off and you know, have their own flavor to leadership, as opposed to loss of a momentum where we have to put the brakes on the direction that we're going and, you know, take our foot off the gas pedal per se and step on the brake because we have to go replace this leader, because without leaders, we know what tends to happen in departments, organizations, families, churches, etc. Okay? And then it strengthens confidence. It strengthens confidence because we were proactive. Our people know where we're going. Your people know of the opportunities that are created, as opposed to it causes fear, like, what's next? Right? Hey, everything was going good. All of a sudden you come into work today and everyone goes, oh, did you hear what happened? Yeah, you know, Jack, Bobby, Michelle, whoever was the leader of our department, they just gave their notice. Friday's their last day, and oh, by the way, today's Wednesday. Well, what happened? Oh, they're moving on, or somebody recruited them, and, you know, he gave his 2 weeks notice, but, you know, the CEO said Friday's your last day. Well, what are we going to do? Fear starts to enter. Okay, and here's what we know about fear, and I also did a video on this. Fear manifests, right? It's like a disease within our organization. Leaders, I believe our job is to operate by faith, and you can strengthen confidence in your people by having a reproduction plan. When someone says, hey, well, you know, Bobby left, who's next? Oh, that's real simple. Sarah. You know, Bobby's been pouring into Sarah, and, you know, Sarah's just, you know, CEO said Sarah's going to step up and take over, and, you know, there'll be a little bit of, you know, a little bit of a change out. There'll be a little hiccup, but we can still keep our foot on the gas pedal per se, as opposed to everyone sitting around scratching their head going, what's next? What's the CEO going to do? Oh man, now we have to stop everything and wait for the next leader, and then we have to train them. We have to get used to them. Boom. That's fear-based as opposed to faith-based leadership. Okay. The next one is communicates direction. Hey, when you have an organizational chart and it's built out by the departments and the leaders and all the sub, you know, elements of that organizational chart, and you know what opportunities are available, and you have a relative time frame of when those opportunities are going to be created based off your 1, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 year plan for your organization, and you communicate that with your people, and your vision is clear, and your mission is clear, and your organizational chart is clear, you have a very clear direction of where you're going. And when you communicate that, you say, hey, we're going to reproduce leadership. The second you start to reproduce that leadership, you communicate the direction and you reproduce that leadership, you get massive momentum going. It's like this energy starts pushing you, as opposed to being the leader that's trying to pull your people. Why? Because it leaves people wondering, just like the fear, right? When we have to replace a key leader or any leader in our organization, hey, we have a very clearly defined direction that we're going as opposed to what's next, right? Who's next? Your organization should know who's next. You should have a pipeline. You should have a leadership development program. You should have an environment and culture that's growing, raising, and attracting leaders at a really high level. So when someone goes, who's next or what's next, everyone turns around and goes, you're next. As opposed to the replacement plan that leaves people going, well, it's going to take another 6 or 8 months to find that person, okay? And then the last one, there's many of them, but I just wanted to, I think these are the key ones. It allows for flexibility as opposed to being very restrictive. Look, when you have a key leader leave or you have the market's pushing you in a very specific direction or the market shifts, whichever, and a new model is called for or a new product or a new procedure, and we have a leader and we go, hey, you're the best person to do that. You're a leader. You're in our leadership development program. You're in our pipeline. You know how we do things. You're going to create a lot more flexibility to embrace a market shift, a different direction, a new product, a different way to do business. Right? Think about it for you real estate agents out there that are looking at expansion. What happens if someone says, hey, this is a great market, we should go there? Well, we don't have a pipeline of leaders, right? If you're trying to expand from the bottom up, you're going to try to, put a bottom up agent in that market and hope that you have decentralized leadership, doesn't work. And if you've tried that, you're agreeing with me. And if you disagree with me, reach out to me. I'll give you the name of about 5 people who tried that and realized it didn't work because it was very costly. They tried it and it took too much time, it took too much money, and it didn't reproduce themselves, and therefore they actually had to shut down those locations. And then they realized that, hey, let's do this by a model, and every successful model of expansion is go find the leader and let the leader build it out. Well, we don't have any leaders. Okay, well, we have to go find new leaders. What would it look like if you're just raising leaders up and you go, boom, new location? Why? Because that location of our industry and of our country is dictating that we need to go there. Hey, pick and place, as opposed to, well, we got to go find a new person. We got to train them up. We got to put them in our culture. It's very costly. Okay, so here's what I'm going to allow this opportunity is for you guys to take a look at this, screenshot this, save this video. But here's what I really want you guys to do with this. I think this is immensely valuable content. I think, quite frankly, all our videos are. That's why we do them. And even if you don't think they're as valuable as I do, somebody out there needs to see this. Somebody out there needs to hear it. Share this video with someone, please. Because I promise you, if we get the message out about reproduction versus replacement, we're going to start to grow value amongst one another. And when we become valuable, I can promise you one thing, you can't outgive God. When you pour value into other people, God's going to pour value into you and your organization greater than you could ever possibly imagine. So share this information with someone who is trying to grow an organization, maybe is looking to expand, take their business to the next level, struggling with organizational development, struggling with leadership. Give them the opportunity to understand leadership by succession. Maybe their leader, maybe them as a leader, needs to find a model that they can create success around. They can take action around somebody else's success. Have them reach out to us. We'll share our model with them. It's not the be-all, end-all. I don't know, but it's a model that has created success, that's duplicatable into others and can create a leadership pipeline within their organization. Feel free to reach out to me at chris@transforminglivescoaching.com. Check out our website, transforminglivescoaching.com, to find out more about our organizational and leadership development, as well as other videos. Check out our YouTube channel and click on the little arrow or blue bell that allows you to be notified when we do these live videos each and every day. If I can do anything for you, please feel free to reach out. Remember one thing, God loves you, so do I. Lead strong and be powerful. Thank you for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.